Joining me right now is Tennessee Congressman, House Foreign Affairs and Armed Services Committee member Mark Green. Congressman, it's good to have you this morning. Thanks very much for joining us. How does this play out? What is happening in terms of this border crisis worsening, in terms of engulfing the entire agenda, and how do you believe this plays out?
Well, Maria, thanks for having me on the show. You know, when you think about migration, you have to think about sort of the push factors, the things that happen in that country, the path that it takes for them to get there, and then the pull factors, things in the United States. When we had the surge in 2019, the surge at the border, everybody remembers that. President Trump came in, created migrant protection protocols, a deal with Mexico, created arrangements for asylum with Honduras, El Salvador, and Guatemala. And basically, the Biden administration undid all of those with a single executive order. And then they turned around, the House did amnesty. Of course, they stopped construction of the wall. And now it's just a flood of people. They're expecting 13,000 migrant children, 200,000 people coming across our southern border a month. I mean, this is a tragedy. It's not even a crisis. I understand this debate about what to call it, but it's a tragedy. I mean, Doctors Without Borders said 30 to 35% of the women who come across Mexico into the United States are sexually assaulted. I mean, what they're doing is a tragedy, and it has to be fixed.
It's unbelievable. And yes, we've heard that number as well in terms of the sexual assault. But I'm trying to understand why. I mean, President Biden was vice president. He saw what was beginning to happen even under President Obama. He saw how President Trump came in and quieted things down. We know the negotiation that went on behind the scenes with Secretary Pompeo and those three Central American nations to actually get them to agree to these changes, get Mexico to agree to the Remain in Mexico plan. And Biden comes in and reverses everything. Can you speculate why he did this?
Yeah, absolutely. They see this as an opportunity to empower themselves forever. I mean, it's the same reason in H.R. 1 they let 16-year-olds vote. They know the preponderance of folks that are 16 years old are going to vote Democrat right now with the way they've taken over education in America. And they see the immigrants coming across the southern border voting Democrat. That's exactly why they're doing it. They're about empowering themselves over what's good for the United States, the people of America.
This is just terrible. I mean, it is so disingenuous. Sure. I want to also get your take on China and how policy here will change, because this is another opportunity where the Biden administration can actually go wildly wrong if they don't get this right. And this will have massive, massive implications for the country. This will mean, if you get this wrong, that your kids and their kids and their kids will not have the same opportunities that you had growing up. Let's look at this clearly and open-eyed. The United States, Canada, and European allies have announced sanctions. They did this yesterday, and a number of Chinese officials with ties to the human rights abuses against the Uyghur Muslims. The Chinese Communist Party retaliated. They banned EU members from doing business with Beijing. But make no mistake, the CCP tried to school our State Department at that meeting in Alaska last week, and they have been testing Biden from day one. The video we're looking at right now are the Uyghurs that are minorities, ethnic minorities in China who are locked up. They have handcuffs. They have blinds on their eyes. They are basically getting re-educated in Xinjiang and being faced with human rights abuses by the CCP. Your reaction to the China policy and any changes we may see. Do you have a sense of where Biden's going here?
Sure, they have basically, it's in their DNA. If you look back to Carter, it was all about détente with the Soviet Union. Reagan came in, rebuilt the military. Of course, under Obama, it was the same thing with China. Of course, he caught on at the end and tried to pivot to Asia. But then Trump came in and rebuilt our military, was strong with China. Biden has come right back in. It's in that liberal DNA. Let's downsize the military. They're talking about a 10% cut to DOD. Defund the police, defund the Pentagon. That's who these leftists are. They don't care about our prosperity. Maybe they don't understand what it takes to have peace and prosperity, but that's who they are.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. So they want to defund the police, they want to defund the Department of Defense or cut it by 10%, and yet they want to raise $3 trillion in another infrastructure package. How are we going to pay for this, Congressman? Real quick, what taxes are going up?
The corporate tax is the first thing on their list, and we all know that's what created the incredible prosperity in America. They're going to cut that first.
Unbelievable. Congressman, we are expecting the corporate rate to go all the way up to 28%, possibly 35%. We'll see you soon, and we'll be watching. Congressman Mark Green. Stay with us. We'll be right back.